How well Mr. Brothers went invited.
Welcome to our weekly look back at the Garvey SuperValu Kerry Senior Hurling Championship and a look forward to the weekend fixtures. Now in this particular programme we will look back at the last round 3 of the fixtures, and we had games on the Thursday night when Kilmoyley beat Dr. Crokes. On Friday night we did double header, and that involved Causeway. We're out in Abbeydorney playing St. Brendan's, and of course we had Crotta against a very young Ballyduff side here in the Ossenstack Park. And then on Saturday we had one of the games at the weekends and one of the performances of the weekend, some cracking goals in the Abbeydorney and Lixnaw game, and it also saw the return in the second half of a maestro. Now with me this evening to discuss all such matters I have our usual panel, and I'll introduce you again in case you're tuning in for the first time. Right next to me here is the man from Tarbert. As I said, not a stronghold of hurling, but at the same time we had a young Tarbert native with a father playing with Ballyduff, was it? And he played very well on Friday evening. John O'Dowd, he's a freelance reporter and journalist with the Kerryman, even among other organisations. And he writes about hurling, commentates as well. Now next to him we have the one and only James McCarthy. Now James has been described as a maverick, which is unfair to mavericks, but he was a savage hurler, as I said previously. Excellent, played for Kerry for many a year, at least he was on the pitch, and he also has 8 Senior Hurling Championship medals with Kerry, with Kilmoyley, but it's still not beat. He still doesn't beat Ian Brick because he doesn't play cricket. Now our third member of the panel is Aidan Leahy from Abbeydorney. Aidan, one of the young guns in the Abbeydorney club. He is banking on Abbeydorney possibly winning the championship this year, but he was very happy with their weekend performance in the first half, but in the second half I must say he was uttering obscenities as he left the field. So yeah, they're our 3 wise men, and we're looking forward to some of their analysis and some of their thoughts on the games that happened and the games that will happen. So we're going to kick on. We're under pressure this evening, and our first game that we look at is the game that happened on Thursday night. It happened in Dr. Crokes, and it involved Kilmoyley versus Dr. Crokes.
And I will give you due notification when that
change strip of mainly gold and the green sash in the front, as Daniel Collins is going to get us started here with his first score of the match.
Yeah, and that's one of the things Kilmoyley were missing from
field in the search of Brian O'Connor, and O'Connor has it on the far side there. He's going to shoot off his left, and he's going to send it over the bar. In fact, I think it might have been Tom Doyle who came out to win that puck out.
That's an absolutely brilliant score by Doyle, yeah.
Either falls eventually inside here. Moran again with the run of Phil Mansell inside him. Phil has it now. Phil with a chance, bearing down a goal, has support inside. Phil goes himself. A fantastic finish to the roof of the net by Phil Mansell. 1-1 in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying. He got the ball off Moran there. He only had 1.
2 minutes 45 seconds. Fantastic puck out this time, straight into the hand. Primary possession won there. Going through was Willie Allen. Allen still going. Looking for a pass to Tom Doyle here. Doyle has a point already. Turns to shoot, looking for another. Pull on the ground and saved by John B. O'Halloran inside in goals. And for this, he has Nathaniel Donsell with him for company. Looks outside him here to Jordan Brick. Brick the captain. Ball in hand. Looks at the post. And is going to send this straight between them. Great score from Jordan Brick.
Yeah, quality finishing Brick. And that all came from the goal chance from Crokes. And a good save by John B. because indeed conditions.
That they've been in the senior championship to have his, consistency on the frees anytime they do get a chance.
Oh, massive, it's what we need, so.
And another man who was a huge part of that is Tom Doyle, who sent over a monster score. O'Connor again. O'Connor sending it across field here into a bit of space to Jordan Brick. Brick. Bit of a dummy. And the shot goes straight between the posts for a very stylish score indeed from the captain.
It was a great score, but I'm telling you, I'm not sure there was, I think it was Daniel Collins again made it.
In the middle of the field here is Tom Doyle again, and Doyle is hurling well this evening. He has Mark Heffernan on his shoulder. He's going to give it to Mark Heffernan. Heffernan is going to shoot from the pocket, and Mark Heffernan, the two main men combining, working perfectly so far for Dr. Crokes. Look at it's 1-5 to 5 points. And up O'Connor pops it outside here. Ball dropped and a chance for Kilmoyley to turn it over and clear their lines. Ronan Walsh battling back there. But away it comes. Kevin Landers, who tries to knock it out again, almost finds Heffernan, but here finds Kieran O'Connor. O'Connor with a chance to run through and goal now. O'Connor going through. The shot! It's a fantastic finish! Colm O'Queeve named at wing back, pushed into the forward line, pulled along the ground and sent it into the back of the net.
And no more.
Mark Heffernan is with him. O'Connor looking to switch it again here. It's Bobby O'Connor inside there, and O'Connor gets on the break here and pops it straight between the posts, and what is probably an important score for Kilmoyley.
I was going to say.
Though Collins with a ball inside here. Phil Mansell now on the turn here. Phil Mansell is going to look over the shoulder, strike off his right. Phil Mansell is going to send it over the bar.
I was going to say a minute ago, Phil Mansell's gone quiet since the first 5 minutes of the game, but a lovely ball at zone, that part as well.
Long ball here, well won by Ronan Walsh. Straight into the hand here now. Walsh on a bit of a run here. As the rain comes down on Lewis Road, Walsh is going to fire the shot straight over the bar.
That's a great score, like, you know, when you need lead.
Side here is Tom Doyle now. Doyle is going to go from distance. Tom Doyle is probably going to drop short. Can it be kept in on the far side there? Good battle being had, but it's going to go out to the left and wide for Dr. Crokes. 6th wide of the half there as Donegal O'Callaghan blows the whistle for half time. As well, to make matters worse for him, he's going to make a bit of a loopy run here, but the ball is in the middle here now, and Dr. Crokes looking to get it out. A pull inside there by Conor Murphy, but he only found a Kilmoyley man with it. And a lovely pass here to Jordan Brick, who found himself a bit of space, and he sent it over the bar.
Well, great vision by Paddy O'Connor, because Brick was actually looking for the pass out Daniel Collins, but he couldn't get it out to him. Played it back to Paddy. Paddy saw him all in
here. That's cut out this time, but Paddy O'Connor is there to win the scraps. Paddy looking up is going to go for the shot himself here. Paddy O'Connor is going to send it over the bar.
That's a great score by Paddy. I actually thought when he looked up to
the take by Tom Moran. Moran has the runner of Dara Nolan. Nolan now has another man inside him. Nolan will stay going himself this time, gives the pass. Here is Daniel Collins. Collins goes for a goal. It's a good save by Quirk. Collins still has it again on the rebound, and it has just gone over the bar.
I thought it actually went wide, but absolutely brilliant. Like,
goes long again with the puck out here. Tom Doyle this time has it in the hand. He's a runner on the far side as well. If he can spot him, gives it inside to Brian O'Connor instead. O'Connor with the shot, and it's saved by John Bean, but it's going to come back for a free in.
We're going to bring it in for hitting the
Nolan though, and he's the one who broke it down to Jordan Brick. Brick gives a fantastic hand pass here to who else but Paddy O'Connor. O'Connor is going to strike this over the bar, and I think you could nearly stop the man of the match competition now as well at this stage.
I think about it a few minutes ago, and it's like he's definitely
second score as well.
Definitely in front running for it.
And long one up the field here. Dougie Fitzgerald, Tom Doyle is underneath it. Tom Doyle has it in the hand here. He has a runner off his shoulder as well. Has the advantage as well. Pops it inside here. Chance for a goal. He pulls on the ground. To the right and wide. It's going to come back for the free in underneath it. Flicked on by Carroll. Looking now for O'Connor there. Brian O'Connor has it into the hand here now. Does he have any support? He's running in through. It's a good save by John B. O'Halloran, who saw it fairly late as well. And eventually Kilmoyley are going to get a chance. It's fired across fields now, looking for Jordan Brick, who's been quieter in this second half. He had a great first half, but this time Brick has it and has sent it straight between the posts.
And look, it's a great score from Jordan Brick. That's exactly what you want him doing, coming from the loop from the right hand side, moving in towards.
Get it going here. It's going to drop straight into the hand of Paddy O'Connor, who's caught out.
No call.
Strange for him to be caught out that time. Mark Heffernan now going through, has support inside here. Heffernan's going to go all the ways himself, is he? Heffernan looking for the goal. John B. O'Halloran again is equal to it, and is eventually going to get. He's surprised he didn't get a free out there. Kilmoyley eventually dig it out. McCarthy win in the second half for Kilmoyley. 11 wides and all for them. As Tom Doyle is going to shape up for a long distance effort here, and I would say has crept that in over the bar for Tom Doyle. His third of the match.
And that's the class the man has on the ball, bounce in front of him, first touch up.
He's going to send it down the middle here, but Davy Carroll is going to intercept here. Carroll Pops it into Mark Heffernan. Heffernan loses his man here now and goes on the run. Darren Nolan comes to cover across here. Carroll again. Carroll goes for a shot and sends it over the bar.
Yeah, good play there now in fairness. Carroll intercept.
Catch by him. Pushes away his own man out of his way as well here, going with the ball, and the Hurley strikes it over the bar.
Yeah, I actually thought the referee put the whistle out his mouth. I was going to call him for steps again. It was going to be for the third time, but no. But I think special mention must go to Mark Heffernan and Tom Doyle from Crokes. I think they've been absolutely fantastic, and they've really brought the battle to Kilmoyley tonight. But from a Kilmoyley point of view, Paddy O'Connor by far from start to finish got on so much ball. He's so economical. He chipped in a couple of scores as well, but it's his pass.
Thursday night, last game that was brought forward 24 hours because of the funeral of John Paul O'Mahony, and again it was a very sombre occasion, but well done to Dr. Crokes. They were contacted, and within an hour they had got back to Kilmoyley Club and said no problem, we'll play the game on Thursday night in Killarney, and that's what happened. Now, as it turned out, it was quite a good game. And James McCarthy was there watching his own team, Kilmoyley. He was almost sleeping with the enemy, as it were, where he was with a member of the Crokes, or a former member of the Crokes team. So watching it, James, what was your overall? Obviously, it was emotional and very emotional for Kilmoyley. There was a minute's silence for John Paul, etc. But once the game got going, at no stage would you say that Dr. Crokes were overawed by Kilmoyley. No,
in fairness, they had as much possession as Kilmoyley did. And when you look at that, then you wonder, Christ, why is the score at half-time even reflected? Was it 3 or 6 points at half-time? It was very close. Now, Kilmoyley played in fits and starts, bits and pieces here and there, and a couple of scrappy bits, but that's probably doing a disrespect to Crokes for how well they played, without even one of their best players, Conor O'Hara. Yeah. You're thinking, Michael Leahy was very good centre back, I thought, and so was Mark Heffernan and Tom Doyle. They were the main threat, but you have to look at that then, you say, right, they're our main threat, look after them. We didn't do our homework, we didn't go about ourselves properly at all. Yeah. If they're their main players, you've got to tag their main players. They really are. Crokes have other players around the field, yes, but not of that quality. Yeah. You really have to, and the old saying goes, Mort, hammer the hammer. We did not hammer the hammer on the night, and we let Crokes, we let him in the game for as long as possible. And the fairest, Dublin, our goal, he made some great saves. He made 3 or 4 great saves. They were in a few times. Brian O'Connor had a couple of great shots. I think Mark Heffernan had another shot. Yeah. If they went in, I won't say we'd be in trouble, but the way we were playing, we were well within ourselves, and you would have found it hard to get out of that second gear, to get another gear, to get moving again, to actually push the game over the line. Yeah. With the emotion on the line, I think, fellas, I don't know, was it flat or what was it? We just did not really, that won't beat what's left in the championship. Yeah, it won't beat what's left in the championship. It won't, and that's a fact. But Crokes were very good on Fairson. And at home, you're going to expect that at home. Crokes at home, historic occasion, over on Crokes pitch, fair play to them. Great credit due to them for actually saying, right, we'll accommodate you, we'll play here, come over and play the match. And every party was happy, and fair play to them. And they stood up, which they should do. You'd expect that. There's pride in Crokes hurling, and that's where these are shown. Every bit of it shown last Thursday night. Yeah. And they were as good at Kilmoyley for long spells. Yeah. And we got a few scores here and there, maybe a little bit of quality up front, tool for us, but it's worrying a little bit for Kilmoyley. But I think, we had the funeral the weekend on Saturday, with the burial on Saturday, maybe, things maybe settled a little bit now since, and we've I won't say we've done our grieving as such. We'll move on and try and do our best from here on in, but you need a response. You need a response to Hurling field.
In any way, would you be worried that that's your third flat performance? Yeah. The league final against Crotta wasn't great. I know he had a full strength team. He wasn't full strength against Ballyduff, but that was flat. Yeah. And now there was a good reason why the game against Crokes was probably flat, and you could leave the lads off there with a pass. But overall, the spark, the camaraderie, the traditional will to win and intensity of Kilmoyley doesn't seem to be there this year. Now, it might come in the quarterfinals, but it's not there so far.
At the moment, it's kind of if we go really look at it on a broad scale, it's been a flat season. We played at Abbeydorney, and they should have beaten us in the league semi-final in our own pitch. Should have beaten us. We got a late goal to win it, takes over the line. That was the only difference. That was another performance. Abbeydorney had us for a long time there. Yeah. And there was other games during the season. We played a few games in the county league. We were beating a couple of games. Other games we got through. We won them, yes, but it's been flat. I don't know, can't explain it.
Yeah.
Maybe, fellas, we need something. Maybe some fella has to come in somewhere and grab the game or grab the whole situation by the scruff of the neck and say, right, I'm doing this. Like I've seen, like I'm nearly becoming a Causeway supporter now. Christ, that's going to be hard to say. But I've watched all the Causeway matches.
You realise you'll have to move out to Kilmoyley.
But I've seen different fellas really take the mantle of the big lads. Like they can replace Mirish and Jason, and you could hardly notice they're gone. That's a bad thing to say now. But you could hardly notice them. You wouldn't notice them gone against St. Brendan's last night. Yeah. The way fellas stood up and you said, Jesus Christ, we Gary Kerry, full back. We'd another fella over there. Christ, everyone of them just seemed to stand up. We're not doing it. Yeah. We're not getting 15 fellas standing up together at the same time. We're not.
For one strange moment there, I thought you were going to suggest that you were going to make a comeback yourself. You were going to be the missing link at 50 odd summers or whatever you are. Aidan, you were commentating on that match. Now, I know you were commenting on Kilmoyley, but maybe on Crokes. Like, I thought Nathaniel Dunstall had a very good game. I thought Diarmuid Quirk, his time in with the Kerry team, certainly he made a couple of good saves as well, to be fair to him. Yeah. And the names that already have been spoken by James. So, overall, and Tom Doyle came out of that game really looking like a quality hurler.
I think it's probably, it works both ways with both teams. Huge credit to Dr. Crokes, and probably a massive disappointment to Kilmoyley is that I think Phil Mansell had 1-1 scored inside the first 90 seconds. Kilmoyley didn't kick on, but Crokes didn't throw in the towel, whereas years gone by, that's Kilmoyley nearly already
roll it
over and done with 59 minutes to go and the other team throwing in the towel. Crokes didn't throw in the towel, but Kilmoyley weren't able to press on from that, and kind of, I suppose Phil himself then didn't really kick on, and it was kind of the sign of the rest of the team not kicking on. It was a great goal, to be fair. McCarthy had no chance with that. But like that, they had a spell in the first half where the puckouts really started falling apart for them. Kilmoyley were winning everything in the half-back line, but they kept on going with it, and eventually they started winning ball. Tom Doyle was nearly winning every puckout that went towards him. Mark Heffernan was getting in there around the break. Brian O'Connor was causing problems. Kieran O'Connor was causing problems running into own goal. They actually left a load of chances after them in the first half. So I think Stephen Goggin is actually, I would say he's probably delighted with the draw. I don't think he wanted Parnell's. I'd say he wanted the test of Dr. Crokes. And if they have Conor O'Hare back in there, I think they'll give a very good performance against Causeway. And like that, it's a massive shame. Obviously, he's missing through family reasons, I think, on the night. It's a shame he wasn't there, because who knows?
Yeah.
What, he had 4 points against Ballyduff, like, you know. Yeah. So who knows what might have happened, but fair play to Crokes, like, because we'd written them. In fairness, we did have them written off.
Well, I didn't, but you had.
Well, yeah, I had, in fairness. No, they really stood up, and like that, on their own home soil as well. You know, it was a big old occasion for them, and there was a bit of a buzz around there as well. A lot of the club officers were around, and it was a nice atmosphere there. Nice. That Thursday and Friday. Not just saying because it was Abbeydorney, if it was anywhere else as well, I'd say the same thing. Yeah. I thought the atmospheres in the two games outside of town were very nice compared to atmospheres in the games in town.
Obviously putting his spake in for Abbeydorney for the county final, boys.
We can't host it for it.
One item. True. One man that was in for the first time for Kilmoyley, I won't ask James because he's a good buddy of his, but Tom Moran played up front. And he played well. He showed great pace after the game, but he was definitely during the game. He played very well, and I think he caused a lot of consternation in the full forward line. Might that be a position for Tom? Obviously, he's not getting any younger. He'd admit that himself. He's plagued with injuries, but he's still intelligent. He still knows the game backwards.
You're not going to put him centre back like at this stage, and I don't think he'd be too happy either if he was handed the number 6 jersey in the senior championship game. Exactly, the experience he has, the way he's able to hold up a ball. We saw it a good few times in the first half, particularly. And you've the lads like Bobby O'Connor and Phil running off him as well. Even Ronan and Jordan probably coming in running off him too. There's a focal point there with him anyway, at least, and he's a goal threat like that. He's probably one of the best hands in the county in terms of catching balls. So absolutely, he's definitely a threat inside there. They moved Darren Nolan out into the half back line, which it's probably his more natural position anyway. Would you say, James?
It would be definitely. I think maybe long term we have to look at him there because we still haven't settled on any real. You could say what's Kilmoyley's 1 to 15 now.
Yeah.
He was like, "Jeez, we could put him there. We could put him there. You nearly have too many fellas who are so versatile. They can play a lot of positions."
Yeah. Well, James Godley probably won't be back for the quarterfinals with that shoulder. Mossy, there's a chance he could be back. And he'd be a huge difference.
He didn't even mention the man of the match there on the nightlife. Paddy, Jesus,
Paddy was unreal.
How many times he get on the ball? He was just everywhere at one stage.
He's unreal. John, listen, Crokes, Kilmoyley really not sparkling as we were saying. Crokes have really sort of cemented their position in the senior championship, I think. If they could get a few more from in-house, a few more Croke lads to play and commit. You have the O'Connors doing it, you have Michael Lennon doing it, and Tom Doyle. If you had a few more, they wouldn't be far off the mark at all.
Yeah, and Dr. Crokes, they admitted to us before the first game that they were down at least half of the team that had played the previous season. So a club like that can't afford that turnover of players. So what they did the last day against Kilmoyley, without their best man in Conor O'Hare, is a fantastic performance. It will give them encouragement, not only for the future, but for the preliminary quarter-final on Friday evening. From a Kilmoyley point of view, I think the circumstances are actually perfect now for John Moyler. Like, you can go back to the old cliche of the wounded animal, and Kilmoyley are wounded in a couple of ways. Obviously over the sad bereavement of their former player in John Paul O'Mahony, and obviously with their current form over the last 3 or 4 competitive fixtures. Like, going into the quarter-final, we won't say in the long grass, because Kilmoyley are never in the long grass, but this is perfect for Moyler and his motivational powers. Like, he's going to let rip over the next 2 weeks in training. He's going to have fellas ready to go through the wall whenever and against whoever that they're lining out in the quarterfinal. This could actually be just what Kilmoyley need. They mightn't have clicked up to now, but they did get Paddy O'Connor back the last day. They did get Daniel Collins back the last day. They did get Coleman Savage coming in off the bench, and he'll probably be in a much better position to maybe start in the quarterfinal. And like you say, if there's a chance of Mossy O'Connor getting back in as well, Kilmoyley might very well be a totally different kettle of fish the next time we see them.
I think they will. Right, that's the first game, the Thursday night game. We spend a bit more on that there for Kilmoyley's loss of form, we'll call it, and just to pay homage to, in many respects, to Dr. Crokes for such a good performance and such a good championship, but they're not finished yet, maybe. Now, our next game happened on Friday night, and it happened in Abbeydorney. Don't know why, but the 2 games that they played at the ones. But Abbeydorney is a fine pitch, a fine village, and it's got some fine hurlers as well. And it's got Aidan Leahy. Causeway and St. Brendan's did battle there, and we'll show you the highlights now.
Turnover. McGrath has lost it though. It's Sean Sheehan who has it now. Sean Sheehan gives it to Tommy Casey on the run here now. Casey with the shot from distance. Is that going to go over the bar? Tommy Casey with a monster score. We saw him get 2 against Crotta as well in the first week out.
Suits him.
Back to Paul McGrath here. McGrath is going to have a look at the post. McGrath's shot is dropping inside. Colm Harty is in there. Harty.
1-on-1 now inside 1-on-1. If he gets
any support coming through the middle, he's going to look. He scored a similar one to this last week. And has got another one. Excellent score from Colm Harty. Exactly like the score he got last week against Ballyduff.
He's so dangerous inside. He doesn't need much space at all.
Over again. Here's Paul McGrath. McGrath pops it into the middle there. Lovely ball to Brandon Barrett. Brandon Barrett is going to take it on here now. Brandon Barrett going through on goal. Brandon Barrett has buried it in the back of the net.
Great goal.
And Causeway stamping their initiative all over this. 15 minutes gone. It is 1 goal and 5 points to no score.
Serious trouble.
Tooley.
Perfect.
Camby. Ball looking for Keith
Keeps
Camby.
First ball,
Camby.
Adam White, lovely pass.
Clever little touch back to Adam White there. And the 1-2 now, and Camby has space to shoot. Keith Camby has put this between time. Paul McGrath going in there in the middle. Taps it out to Tommy Casey. It just seems to be working for Causeway. Everything they're trying, they're just getting the rub of the green. Evan Murphy going from distance. Has sent it over the bar.
Great score. Great score.
Band of Causeway players making it so difficult for St. Brendan's to break through. But the ball breaks through for Shawnee Brosnan. Chance for Brosnan to open the scoring here for St. Brendan's. And he has finally, with 18 minutes gone on the clock, Ardfort have gotten their first point. 18 minutes of championship hurling without a score is on.
He'll go to the house.
Going to go long here.
Cullen's under
is
this.
Brandon Barrett and Colm
Brandon
Harty inside.
Dangerous
Going
one.
to drop through. And it's into the back of the net. Brandon Barrett on the rebound.
Finished.
His second goal of the match. The St. Brendan's defence just didn't deal with it. In that one, turn it over.
Get him on Ferris.
To the far side here
He's
now.
going to run. He's going to run here now. He's got
Ferris trying to get in past Adam White
he's
here
going
now.
to
Off
run,
he
he's
goes,
on.
Ferris. Ferris with a bit of road in front from here now. Ferris, will he take on the shot here? Has he overcarried it? It's going to go
Good point,
over
good.
the bar.
Could have been a goal. Could have been a goal.
Another shot puck out. Dan Goggin with a chance to probably kill the game. Goggin buries it into the back of the net.
A gift.
His first goal of the championship. That makes it 1-8 in all between the three games for Dan Goggin. Anyway, the ball is thrown back in here again. I don't know, is there much point in throwing the ball back in from the referee there? You're risking something again boiling over. We have finally got the half-time whistle here. What is Joe Diggins? Lovely pull along the ground here to Dan Mahoney. Daniel Mahoney looks at the post, strikes off his right and gets a score for himself.
Easy score.
Just one ball. Tralee is out in front. He doesn't get the touch on it. Horan has it now. Horan with a chance to create something here. We saw Colm Harty hit one in the first half from there. And he has replied. Great reply. Graham Horan there on the way back up the pitch sends a high ball into Colm Harty. Harty will do well to win it. Trevor Wallace was the favourite first. He does very well to win it, does Colm Harty. Looking to see is there any option. Harty goes for another one of those shots and has another score from that angle. Gets the pass off to Dahi Griffin. Griffin now finds Shawnee Brosnan. Brosnan with a bit of space will shoot from the halfway line. And has sent it over the bar, says the umpire. Yeah, absolutely. Inside now to Dan Goggin. Dan versus Dahi Griffin. Dan Goggin leaves him for dead all along the end line here now. Goggin going inside. Has he support in the middle? He's going to go himself. And has sent it over the bar.
Great score.
You know, 1-1 by his standards is probably quite enough, but he's still been a massive influence in the game. The game now, just in the last couple of minutes, really descending into
ping pong, really.
Yeah, that's it. A great strike here from Paul McGrath, though.
Oh, yeah.
Paul McGrath, Egan underneath it.
Great catch,
It is John Egan. Given now to Podge Mahoney. Mahoney took it off his hurley now, under serious pressure from three Causeway men here now. Through to Gary Reardon. Gary scored 2 points the last day. Gary Reardon's going to get one today. For clubber man of the match this week. 4 minutes added on here now, and Hartford looking to get something on the scoreboard. Gary Reardon looking to follow up with another one. Fair play to him, he's got another one. 2 points for him, he 2 points. Brosnan.
On to Gary.
Responded really well to being dropped, I would say, last week. He was playing
he
much
really
better. That was poor by Gary Reardon, but the referee is going to blow for full time here. Well, it was a strange game, a first half with 3 goals.
Right, out in Abbeydorney, you've seen the highlights there. On the Friday night, you had Causeway with a lot of injuries taking on St. Brendan's, who hadn't quite sparked yet in the championship. And for the first 20 minutes or so, they didn't even put a score on the board. And then after that, they got a couple of scores before half-time. Played better in the second half, in fairness. We were sending off in it. So lots to discuss on this. And the two lads who were covering that were Aidan and James. And I'll start with Aidan, as he was doing the commentary. Aidan, a strange sort of a game in many ways, but as James will probably allude to, and he alluded to earlier, he's getting to like Causeway more than any Kilmoyley man should, and he thinks they're dangerous.
A guilty pleasure.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. But if he's looking for a house move to Tralee or Abbeydorney, we'll sort him. Aidan, that game, Causeway started like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, and very surprising as well, because from speaking to the St. Brendan's guys, they were really up for trying to get a win here, and especially getting a win over the likes of a Causeway, a team who's won 2 championships in the last how many ever years. It's madness. We're discussing this on the stream on Friday. 2021 county semi-final was the last win St. Brendan's have had in the county championship. So that's a long time for them not to pick up a win. So they were mad to try and get a win here, and the first 18 minutes were just... Jerry and Kieran Fitz must be on the sideline going, what in God's name do we do here? Because just nothing was going right from. They'd pucked a good few wides, maybe 3 wides in the first 5-6 minutes, scoreable chances, I think they were all Fanon as
Oh,
well.
they were, yeah.
And I'd say Fanon just maybe lost the head a small bit after that, and that told in later on in the game, before half time, getting sending off. That was just really silly and probably just a bit immature, maybe. Something that, look, he'll probably grow out of. But not to take away from Causeway, they scored 3 goals in the first half. A lot of them, I'd say 2 of them were turnovers.
They were.
One of them was a good effort. Was it Dan and Brendan? Oh,
Brendan
the first one was
got a break off
Ricochet,
the
wasn't
goal.
it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, and then there was kind of 2 turnovers as well.
Yeah, there was.
But yeah, Causeway were just up for it like that. Billy Lyons didn't start either, another man who maybe they rested more than anything for fear of causing more injury to him. But yeah, geez, they were just really up for it. Like, and like we keep on saying, with all the injuries they have, they just don't seem to care. They don't seem to bother. Everyone that comes in picks up the mantle like that. I think the biggest thing was Gary Carey.
A new fullback.
All of a sudden going back into the full back line and playing unbelievably well.
Revelation.
The second half himself.
Was he marking Finan Egan?
No, Lee Moke. He's man to man on Lee Moke.
Yeah. And he had Evan in front of him. Evan Murphy we gave him man of the match. He was unbelievable. 2 points in the first half. Tommy Casey got 2 points as well in the first half.
Yeah.
You know, what a massive player Tommy is for Causeway.
So he played with Kerry back in the day. Top player.
And Tommy Barrett as well, like, who was probably very hurling fit all year.
Tommy's outstanding.
Hurls away, no bother at all.
He's
so
a good man marker as well.
Yeah, no, their Causeway they're really interesting. If they can get anyone back at all, like, they're so dangerous.
That's so dangerous. James, if you look at even the defence in St. Brendan's, their defenders, you have probably the best man marker in the county or in the country in Eric Lean. I mean, basically, I said last week, if you went to toilet, he'll go with you if he's marking you. Simple as. You have Darren Dineen back there. You have John Egan, who's playing better than he ever played. He fits that number 6 or that +1 role back at the back very, very well. Dahi Griffin, and then at midfield you have Shawnee B. And you have Finan Egan up front. I know he didn't last a full hour. And these guys, so... I know they've lost Mackesy. What's wrong with them? Is it they play football and hurling? Being the dual club?
No, in isolation, you had to take last Friday night in isolation. They could not win a ball in half hour line. They could not win a shot puck out. Everything they tried fell apart. Everything. It's like, this is where I think I have to give credit to Stephen Gogg and the management team and the players of Causeway. They said, right, give it to them short there. Limerick's tactic. Let them come at us, we'll turn them over and we'll go the other way. And time again, they did it.
Yeah.
They let St. Brendan's come so far and only let him get so far and then ravage him. And it was ravenous stuff. There was 2 or 3 Cosvellers out of every player. You had Dahi coming out, you had Gary Reardon coming out, you had John Egan coming out, you probably had Stephen Lean or Eric Lean coming out with ball. And every time they got so far, bang, they were hit with 2 or 3 different Causeway players. And no matter what they did, they couldn't get the pass off. Maybe they did, then that player was ravaged again. Causeway just turned them over time and time again in that middle area, and that's centre third where you could say they had a control. And then if they did get past that line, what they did was striking out to Mort Murphy. He was just everything he did was
he was like a magnet.
And he was just the ball in the air. He won every puck out. He won.
Yeah.
Well, if it dropped to the ground, he didn't win it. Tommy Casey won it. And if they got through, they knew Tommy Barrett stopping it. They knew Gary Carey flying out with ball. They were every one of them.
And John Mike. Some of his puck outs are unbelievable.
Is
he older?
He could have fell asleep.
Is he older or younger than you?
He's older than me. And he doesn't look
and he's still
he's
playing.
He's looking.
Yeah.
He is. And
was he in the nog?
He was so untested. It was like they could not get near him because the boys outside were just doing such a good job. Now, even up front, then you had Eric Lean and Dan Goggin. We talked about it before. We said, right, Mackie forward and one of the best men markers. But Dan just said, right, I'm not staying in there, Matt. I'm standing next to you. He took off around the middle of the field. Yeah. Everywhere the ball was, Dan was there, bang. Yeah, linking it up. Then he'd find the lads. He'd find Carmo. He'd find Brandon Barrett. They were everywhere. Yeah. And then what really impressed even more was their hurling, their stick work.
Yeah.
It was pinging ball to each other. There's no stupid pass where it would drop 5 yards in front of fella and he's getting creamed by the back.
Lobs.
It was bang into the hand.
Yeah.
It was into space. Everything was done as it should be. And it was a really, really impressive performance.
Yeah.
So the two of you, sorry, go on.
St. Brendan's now have to go into playing Parnells, who probably get a bit of, I suppose, motivation out of that performance from Ardfort. The fact that they're going to be missing Finan Egan, as far as I know, they're not appealing that. It's just a 1 game suspension for Finan, so missing the game against Parnells. And they have to go into that game now and really, try and get back on the horse, I suppose, and try and find some bit of form to get over Parnells. which I expect them to get over Parnells. To be honest,
there's a couple of them playing in the under-21 football final tonight. Gary O'Riordan will be playing.
So it's not easy.
Johnny B.
That's what, 1 day off to go into a championship game again, like a championship final into another championship game. So not easy on those young lads. And like that disrupts their week of preparation as well. So maybe if they met once since.
And in a ward, I know there's no problem with you. In a ward and in 20 wards, in a ward are Causeway serious contenders now?
Yeah.
That's one ward. Are they serious contenders, would you say? You dark horses?
In 20 wards, they're the farm team in the county at the minute. There is no team playing better hurling than them at the minute.
22 wards.
22 wards.
Okay. Right, so that's our Causeway and St. Brendan's look back. And on Friday night here in the Austin Stack Park, John O'Dowd and myself had the pleasure of watching a young Ballyduff side and Crotta O'Neill's, the county champions, doing a battle. The highlights will follow, and we'll have a discussion about that game shortly.
He sends it in long. They do have a small full forward line that gives Eamon Shanahan a chance here, but Luke Rochford is lively. Ballyduff maintain possession. Is that young Stefan Carrick? He's on the run, the corner forward, lays it off. Chance of a score from the wing forward. That's a lovely Dara Goulding. Goulding finds Aidan Curley. Nice little pop pass by Curley. Good skill by Dylan Moriarty. He can score here. Moriarty. Yeah. This is an excellent effort. This is a super score.
Out and takes him, so it's white against white.
Sean O'Donoghue, great take again by Gavin Parker against Aaron White. He started well, Gavin Parker. Is he accurate? A brilliant catch and a brilliant score. That's
father, the great Michael Parker, Mike's dad of the pub. Here we go.
Here's Ballyduff on the attack. Chance of a score for Adam Seagal. That's a great run, and Seagal's not going to miss from there. Went long in towards Luke Rochford. Rochford goes up ahead of Eamon Shanahan. This is a nice play by Rochford again. He finds another little gap and a beautiful pass to Killian Boyle. Killian Boyle has Stephen Carrick inside. Pops it off to him. This must be a chance. It's a goal. It's actually Seagal. Seagal was on the straight burst. I think he's after taking the pass from Killian Boyle. He pretty much started that move, Mort, Adam Seagal. And
there was buried in the net by Adam Seagal.
Ballyduff 1-6, Crotta 2 points. That score is going to make a big difference to the half-time outcome in this game. What can Crotta do to respond? Cormac White, he sends it to Parker. Parker's away towards goal. What'll he do? He'll tap it over the bar. Lovely score by their lines. It's going to break here to Jack Enright trying to get on a run again. He's made a couple of lung bursting runs. He's on another one. He's away from Dominic Nolan. Laid it off. Chance of a goal. Stephen Carrick, very unselfish to Rochford. Has to be a goal. Is a goal. A great run by Enright. Unselfish work by Carrick. Back at the net. Luke Rochford. Under pressure from Aidan Behan. Free quickly taken by Dennis Quill. Quill to Shawnee McGilligan. This is an effort from play. This will be a lovely score if he gets it. And he does. I don't think it was a foul either. Slitter's thrown in, well won there now by Cormac White. White sends it inside towards the full forward line. If it could be popped off Sean Murnan, he's going to go for his own score. I thought he was going to pop it off to Raymond Nolan.
And that was a good point and just proves he can do it. So he's doing his chances no harm. There goes the half-time whistle.
There goes the half-time whistle. Short puck out there by PJ O'Gorman. Referee Niall Malone. The tough first half, Eamon Shannon sends it long now towards Sean Murnan. In towards Murnan and Raymond Nolan. Raymond Nolan pops it off to Cormac White. He deserves a score. He was excellent in the first half, Cormac White. Has he got the score? Adam Seagal, but McGilligan still gets it. McGilligan low pass in towards the full forward line. That should be Thomas Slattery's. Slattery doing well. But well robbed by Raymond Nolan. Nolan will score. He does score. Good.
Lovely point, and I think if they get enough ball into that full forward line, it could cause problems.
Dara Slattery sends it long. Beautiful pick up by Stephen Carrick. He's showing pace as well. Lays it off to Luke Rochford. This will be a lovely score if they get it. They do get it. Dara Slattery, Carrick with passes it to Adam Seagal. Seagal will send it in low towards Rochford. Rochford against Eamon Shanahan. Shanahan came, tried to get in front. Rochford's in behind. He'll score here again. I've no doubt Rochford will score here again. And he does. Over the bar. Crotta sends it up towards Gavin Parker. Excellent from Parker. Parker will try and run. No, he'll go straight for a score. And he'll get the score. Brilliant play. The sweeper there. As Mort said, they kind of had to do it to cut out the Ballyduff goal threat. Here's David Goulding now, the Ballyduff substitute. Another experienced performer, well able to hurl. Lays it off to his brother Dara. That'd be a monster score. That is one of the scores of the game. One brother, Mort, David Goulding, lays it off to Dara Goulding. What do you make of that, Mort?
Yeah, well, again, giving all the lads a run, that's what they're doing now. Jason had a good game, did nothing wrong, and here comes Gavin again.
Parker goes again from long range.
Real game, but Ballyduff are not flinching an inch.
Dylan Moriarty, long ball all the way through to Jack Enright. Jack Enright will take on Eamon Shanahan. Eamon's already had a tough night at the office trying to keep tabs on Luke Rochford. Now he's another speedster in Jack Enright to deal with it. It's laid back to the substitute. That's David Gould. Just going to drop short. Has it dropped into the net? Is it a mistake by the keeper? I think it is. It was an effort by David Goulding for a point from all of 44.
One of the best Kerry players.
Here's Cormac White, another man who's been outstanding, to Declan O'Donoghue. Declan hasn't really had a chance to go forward too much in this game. This should be his first score. This is his first score. Sheehan lays it off. Attempted ball in towards McGilligan. Goes over Dara Slattery's head.
He's going for
McGilligan's
goal.
going to go for goal here. He's gone through. He's going to hit a rocket. Good save, I think, by PJ Gorman at his near post. It's gone out for a 65. That's it off to Killian Murphy. Killian Murphy back here towards Tommy Grady. Tommy Grady's going to try one from all of 60 metres. That's a great effort by Tommy Grady.
Whoa.
That's a great 3-14 to Ballyduff. It's 14 points to Crotta O'Neills. This could be the last action of the game. Indeed it is the last action of the game.
Did they actually pull in it? Did it?
The referee, a bit of a meaningless throw-in ball there at the...
Now on to Ballyduff and Crotta, and there were some of those names there. I'm sure you weren't familiar with watching those highlights. The likes of Jack Enright was in there, Dylan Moriarty, a great time for him, Stephen Carrick, whose father would be from Tarbert. You had Luke Rochford, Jason Bowler was back, Adam Seagal, who is a dual player, football and hurling. You had Aidan Curley, but you had Killian Boyle, but you didn't have Evan, you didn't have Mikey, you didn't have Padraig Boyle, John. And then on the Crotta side, there was no Shane Nolan, there was no Sean McGrath, there was no Rory Manny, there was no Shane, there was no, what's his name? Help me, lads.
Yeah, basically, Mort. There was no Killian Trent. Basically, this was two shadow outfits on Friday night. Both Ballyduff and Crotta had already qualified for the quarterfinals, so they decided, understandably in the circumstances, that they would both only start with 4 of the sides that had played the previous weekend. Ballyduff had Dara Slattery, Adam Seagal, Luke Rochford and Dylan Moriarty. Crotta started with Eamon Shanahan, Aidan Behan, Cormac White and Shawnee McGilligan. But interestingly enough, Mort, it wasn't a game really that was played in the spirit of just a B match. It was actually, you had young players on both sides who were 100% determined to catch the eye of both Barry O'Grady for Ballyduff and Brendan Mahoney for Crotta and lay down a marker for future selection when it comes to the knockout stages. So it actually did turn into be a quite interesting encounter and a very skillfully fought encounter between two young sides, and both sets of management, even though the goals were the difference in the end, that was the main reason that Ballyduff emerged victorious, especially the 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes in the first half from Adam Seagal and from Luke Rochford. They were the scores that decided the game. But Crotta didn't throw in the towel or anything of the sort after that, even though they didn't have to win the game. They kept plugging away and they had some very impressive individual performances themselves. So I think what they've done, both sides, is...
rule themselves out of the intermediate championship.
Well, that's
the first thing.
That's one thing, and we have.
So James doesn't get his medal.
No, and that's from another team, Kilmoyley, pulling out of the intermediate. So James, his last
Kilmoyley's end was forced, though. Do you know what I mean?
This could have been invited.
You know what I mean?
Could have been invited.
But the one thing I would say, what it has done...
Aidan Leahy plays intermediate hurling. So tonight, so he at least sees a chance of winning something. A miraculous medal, maybe.
Aidan is saying that I think he's been playing intermediate championship for the last 6 or 7 years without a victory. Yeah. And the more teams that pull out of the competition, the greater opportunity there is that Aidan might just go all the way.
And he's already double, so they're saying intermediate and senior. Is that what they're saying?
And you never know. He could win an intermediate medal.
I think tonight's game will be a draw.
A single match. But back to Ballyduff and Crotta. What they have done, both sides now, is they have completely reinforced the togetherness among the squad. Everybody will feel now that they're part of it to some degree, which some of the other teams have not been able to do possibly, even though all sides have used their bench to good effect or as much effect as possible. But this has shown both Barry O'Grady and Brendan Mahoney that we have strength in depth, that we have lads who maybe we didn't think were good enough for the first 15, and now after seeing them, maybe they are, and they've put in eye-catching displays and has given us both food for thought going into the quarterfinals.
I've kind of one question on it though, for everyone, I suppose. Like, they have a week off, regardless, they were going to have a week off. Are you going to find a challenge game to the level of playing a Ballyduff or Crotta team inside here? A full-strength team, 2 of them. Yeah. You're not going to find that challenge game. I think it's absolutely madness what they did. I actually cannot understand it at all. Fair enough taking fellas off at half time, but surely you want 30 hard minutes. Like where else are you going to get, like for Ballyduff to play a full strength Crotta team, to see some way where they are, let's say after even 30 minutes, and the other way for Crotta, even see just to get to see where Ballyduff are themselves, like, you know, they're a contender.
That's the other side of the coin now.
So are you suggesting that when the two teams were basically, we'll say second teams with a couple of starters, that if it was a second team against a stronger team...
No, I think both teams should have started stronger teams than way stronger teams than what they did. Yeah. And fair enough that any guy who was at risk at all, off at halftime, no bother at all.
Yeah. The only thing that they possibly decided there was the fact that they were in the 4-team group, which was a strong group, all 4 teams. They might have said, we've already had 2 really tough encounters, that we don't need a third one in successive weeks, while the teams in the 3 teams group, no disrespect to Tralee Parnells, which obviously they put in an unbelievable show against Lixnaw, and what Dr. Crokes did against Kilmoyley last week. Maybe Ballyduff and Crotta said, we'll try and keep our powder dry. We have a few injuries. We'll just hold off. Maybe we'll get the extra week break, and they'll either be undercooked or they'll be unbelievably fresh going into the quarters. Yeah,
well, I can vouch for that, because Crotta, in terms of Shane Nolan, was sick coming into the last game against St. Brendan's, and Shawnee McGrath has an ankle problem and will be back for the quarterfinals. Jazzy Sean will be back, I would say. And you also had Beans, who picked up a knock, although he did play in the last game. He picked up a knock in the game before that. And I suppose with no jeopardy there, it didn't matter whether they were first or second, they figured.
No, Rory, Killian, like younger fellas who need games probably in town to grow too. Like.
Yeah, but Killian has played a load between football with Simmons and Rory all year. And remember, Rory and those who were involved with Crotta last year when they played the Munster Championship, they got 2 games in that. So, and he was in Fitzgibbon Cup duty here in Abbeydorney, one of the finest pitches in Kerry, facility-wise, etc.
I don't like it either, Mort. You look at.
I think they should see that minutes. I think
these guys here on this team, none of them will play championship for the rest of the year now. Intermediate or senior, there's a lot of them who won't play it. Yeah. I could pick out 10 fellas there and say,
that's but I tell you, Luke Rochford will play it.
Of course, you'll have
Adam Segal will play it. Darius Lashley will play it.
But there's other fellas there won't touch the ball for the rest of the year.
But Dylan Moriarty is really coming back into it now.
He played last week. He played all the other games.
He played all. He's had injury. He's been plagued. He's a confidence player.
I was terrible.
And
I
think
they're wrong. I think they should have played more.
Didn't do it. They could have done it. Cause and effort said, look, we're in the dead rubber round anyway. We might as well do nothing.
They'd made way more reasons.
It's a totally different way of looking at it. And the only time will tell on which team is right.
Now look, fair, you say if Ballyduff
and Crotta come out in their respective quarterfinals and they're beaten, then there'll be serious questions asked. Yeah. If they go and win and they're fresh and they win by 8 or 10 points in their quarterfinals,
could end up playing
they'll say that. They'll say that the end is worth to me.
You've got to be careful what you wish for. You've got to be careful what you wish for.
In a challenge game this weekend, is it? No.
In Abbeydorney pitch.
In Abbeydorney pitch. Yeah. Well, apologies, sorry.
We would have
it's
to
not
try.
to anybody from Ballyduff and Crotta. This is not my opinion.
I'm
I
sure
believe we were
plenty of
right
them had
in
the
doing
same
it.
conversations.
But it was
Friday
great
evening.
to see difference of opinion on the panel. And to see a young gun like Aidan Leahy really let off. He's really getting psyched up for his intermediate game tonight. He'll have retired in a couple of years' time without any medals. Anyway, that's the game. Now we move to the game that's very close to Aidan's heart. And that was on Saturday night. And that was the meeting to top the group, mind you, between Abbeydorney, inspired by Michael O'Leary, and eventually Lixnaw, inspired by the great Shane Conway, who played 30-odd minutes for the first time since Kerry played Meath in the National League back in, I'd say it was February. So now we look at the highlights of Abbeydorney, and folks, look out for a goal in this. That is one of the best goals I have seen since I was 6 years of age, which isn't there yesterday.
There between the Lixnaw goalkeeper and the full-back. Bit of a mix-up. This is going to be a chance now for Oisín Mansell. This is a soft score, and it is a score for hurler with Kerry as well. O'Connor sends it in towards the big man Michael O'Leary. O'Leary goes up. Great catch. Take! Is it going through the net? I think it's a goal. I think there must be a hole in the net, but it's gone through. What a brilliant goal by Steers County runners-up.
Yeah, good from Jack Brosnan, and he'll be delighted with that, getting over the bar, but a poor...
He's trying to get away from Shane McGilligan. Is he fouled by Shane McGilligan? No, he isn't. Lays it off. Chance for Abbeydorney to get a score. Popped off to Michael O'Leary. He's going to do damage again, is he? Very unselfish. Cross goal. Chance of a goal. Great save. Mort straight in towards Michael O'Leary. Oh, he's got it in his grasp again. This could be another chance. This is another chance, and a good save by Martin Stackpool. Michael O'Leary straight away, winning ball against Ger Stackpool, going for the juggler, could have tapped it over the bar, went for goal from a tight angle, deep. Yeah. Abbeydorney free now from long range in towards O'Leary. This might go over his head. No, it doesn't. He plucks it out of the sky again. Brilliant by O'Leary. What a goal! What an unbelievable angle! What a catch! What a score! What a player!
That's Messi-like with a hurley. He grabs it. He almost falls over, and then along the deck. The keeper is diving. He doesn't see it.
Although it's Ger Stackpool close to Oisín Mansell at this moment in time. Mansell gets away, a smart pass to Mikey Clifford. Does Mikey have the accuracy? He certainly does. What a brilliant score, Mansell. Can they get another score here? Oisín Mansell, very intelligent in possession. Very intelligent in possession. This time lays it off to Daniel O'Leary this time. Daniel O'Leary says, this can't all be about my brother. I want to get in this party. He used to take all the food off the table at home. I want a little crumb. I want to have, or the game will be out of reach. High ball in again now. This time Dara Shannon's away from Michael O'Leary. Got his hand to it. Dropped it off. Oisín Mansell's going to pick it up. Oh, intelligent play by Mansell. Lays it off, and another goal. I think it's the brother this time. Is it Daniel O'Leary, Mort? Have we 2 goals from Michael O'Leary? Have we 1 now from Daniel O'Leary? That's wonderful, intelligent play by Oisín Mansell. It is, it's the number 9. It's Daniel O'Leary. It's in the back of the net. Pitched by Abbeydorney and the puck out. I think it was Jed Mansell that time. He lays it off to young Callum O'Sullivan. Callum O'Sullivan in ties towards Oisín Mansell. He's been excellent so far, really smart. Is he going to go for goal? He's fouled. Or is he? What's the ref going? 9 minutes. Will he bring up a trio of goals? Here he goes. He strikes. Oh, what a penalty. What has been a scintillating first half performance by the men from Abbeydorney. That's Niall O'Mahony trying to get it into his grasp there, but Lixnaw win it back. Owen Stack, his first chance of a score. He hasn't been experienced, but they just haven't been getting enough possession. Here's a long free sent in towards the full forward. And can they win possession now? Broken by Stephen Egan. Egan does well. Good defence by Abbeydorney. Lixnaw persevering here though. Getting into grasp. It is Conway. He's in close to goal! He's in close to goal. That's what Shane Conway can do. He's back. The man of the moment. The top player in Kerry hurling. He's been out for ages. He missed the Joe McDonough. He's missed everything. He's missed the championship up to now. A game like this, Mort, because it's not a winner-takes-all battle, but Lixnaw are now playing and a chance for Conway to get another score. Off his right-hand side, opportunistic effort. I think he's got it too. That's a great score by Shane Conway. Talk about making an impact.
There he is, cool and calm as a breeze. So in there in the first
out. Colin Corkery scoring points that Lazarus couldn't score, and even with this from Lixnaw, they'll hardly make a Lazarus-style recovery because that's Jack Sheehan.
But they don't want to collapse in the second half and be hanging on at the end.
And here's Reggie Galvin now, another experienced player. And that's a great score from Reggie. Now sweeper, trying to find Dara Shannon. Good stick work by Shannon. Controls it, lays it off. Chance of a score. That's Shane Conway again, is it? I think it is Shane Conway again. He sends it between the posts. At this moment in time for the leaders, because their massive half-time lead is being eradicated by the minute. And there's another score, and this time it's by Colin Sheehy.
Round and a chance of a goal.
Here go Abbeydorney though. Can they steady the ship now? They sent it in towards Mansell. Mansell gets it into his hand. He turns past Christopher Sullivan. He buries it in the back of the net. Game, set, and match. Takes on Jack Sheehan. Goes through him. Lays it off to Jack Brosnan. Jack Brosnan can score. Jack Brosnan does score. 25. Kelton Malloy will be in soon enough. Made a big impact against Tralee Parnells with a fine score in the second half. Here's Abbeydorney looking for a score. They see
Ashes of bodies all over, so the quicker now the ref blows the whistle here, the better.
This could be a great individual score from Oisin Mansell. He's ran from his own half, and he does. He finishes it. Excellent return from Lixnaw in the second half as the final whistle goes, as Conor Bohan fires out the puck out. A fine game of hurling. It appeared to be one-sided.
So there you had some wonderful goal scoring there from Michael O'Leary, from Oisin Mansell and from Shane Conway. And that was a superb game. It was a game of two halves in every sense of the word. Abbeydorney totally dominant in the opening half, and then Lixnaw came back in the second half and outscored them well. And if there was another 10 minutes played, could possibly have beaten them, Aidan told me earlier. Now, talking, John, we'll start with you as you were commentating on this game, and you have been eulogising and you have been absolutely marvelling at the skills of Michael O'Leary. Just tell me a small bit about his goals. You've seen him often enough. You've been dreaming about them.
I think now this weekend is obviously the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship semi-finals, and no matter whether you talk about TJ Reid for Kilkenny, Shane O'Donnell for Clare, Pat Horgan for Cork, and we'll say Aaron Gillan for Limerick.
Or James McCarthy for Kilmoyley.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look at those aristocrats of stick work, and what Michael O'Leary did, albeit in a club sense, at a lower level on last Saturday night, it was an absolute exhibition of everything that's good about the game. Like, one man basically decided the outcome of the game in the first 20 minutes, shall we say, of the match. He was just unstoppable, imperious, unmarkable, no matter what word you want to use about it. Lixnaw had absolutely no answer to Michael O'Leary. And it wasn't as if he wasn't without support either from other Abbeydorney players who put their hands up at different stages of the game. But this is a player that, given the right supply, that put in the right positions, that in the right frame of mind on any given day, he can take a game away from the opposition because of his sheer physical attributes, his free taking, his general ability to be an absolute nuisance and to be a torment to any defence he comes up against. Like, he had 3 goals and 6 points on the board before half-time, and the game was over. Like, it was over. It was 4-9 to 4 points. He's just a fantastic player. I think you don't have to be a hurling enthusiast to enjoy watching Michael O'Leary play. And it's been clear over the last maybe 2 years, like, is it 2 years, James, who's been absent from the Kerry team, that he's just a gigantic loss. And no matter who takes the Kerry inter-county job next season,
Davy
the
Fitz.
first Davy Fitz.
He's at loose end.
He's available now. He's at a loose end indeed. He only has to come over the ferry to Tarbert. We'll look after him. We'll look after him.
What's his name?
But,
Anthony Daly came over for Kilmoyley, which is a lesser cause.
Yeah. The first
cause, I think.
the first phone call that has to be made by the next Kerry manager is to Michael O'Leary. It's as simple as that.
With his back and his body hold up.
He's a lot of calls to make. He's a lot of phone calls to make. He's
exactly,
a lot of phone calls to make.
Exactly. From my point of view, I don't really care about the small little obstacles that might be stopping him from giving the full inter-county commitment. A player of Michael O'Leary's standard, even if he can only give 80% commitment with his injuries, etc., you get him on board because he's too good not to be on board. And what he did on Saturday night has lit up the whole championship. And Abbeydorney, I believe they were contenders beforehand. Now, they will be worried by their second half performance the last day, but that was probably understandable as well if you're 17 points ahead at half-time, that you're not going to come out of the dressing room in the second half with the same level of commitment, because they knew the job was done. But with Michael O'Leary in that sort of form, the championship is as open as it can be for Abbeydorney.
Yeah, and Oisin Mansell, James, excellent at wing forward. He scored 1-2, I think. He was excellent. And then you had Jed Manson. Ronan Donovan is a fine centre-back. I think very much underrated.
Was missing for that League
semi-final. And James O'Connor, of course. James is like solid. Stephen Egan is now they pushed Mikey Clifford up to the centre forward to mark Dara Shannon originally, and then they moved Jack Sheehan back in defence, and that worked for them as well. Jack is a very accomplished player. But overall, would you say that Abbeydorney have a shout at the championship, and Lixnaw showed in the second half with Shane Conway, and they also have Conor O'Keefe to come back in. It changes the picture dramatically.
The whole game, the whole dynamic changes. You know yourself, Abbeydorney, what they've done with Michael Leary is it's actually clever with what they've done. Right, you see sweepers in every game. Right, okay, let's wipe out all that. Stand on the edge of the square and we're going to hit ball on you.
Yeah.
Right, sit your sweeper back there if you want to, and let him under Michael O'Leary. Michael O'Leary just takes him out of it.
Yeah.
It's a huge physical presence. It's like we always call that you're trying to work your way through the lines. You need to target somewhere. Right? You're not going to get the passes off maybe. You're not going to be able to play the short hurling. You've always got that. Yeah. And that's even under pressure, even if you're just 2 or 3 fellas around you, you can still just bang it as hard as you can and might get under that. And nearly 100% of the time, he is underneath it. And he'll break it down, he'll have to catch it. So like I think it's going to cause the teams with the sweepers, like the Crottas, like Ballyduffs, a huge problem. Because they know you sit your sweeper deeper. You will have to sit your sweeper deeper, way much deeper back.
What I will say though is, I just think Lixnaw first of all has their man marking. It was totally the wrong choice. Like I think the same situation against Eric Lean marking Michael and John Egan sitting in front of that. Now that's a lot more difficult for Michael to score what he score.
Yeah.
You know,
it will be.
So that's where I kind of have to.
John sits deeper. He does sit deeper.
Pour a bit of cold water on.
Things.
You know what I mean?
But he's playing it down.
And I've said this every week we're on here. Like there is an over-reliance on Michael.
There is.
Okay.
There is.
He's going to be marked out of most likely the next game Abbeydorney plays. He's going to be marked out of it because.
A Coleman, Savage or whatever will have a go at him.
Yeah, how could you not mark a guy who scored 3, 4, whatever he scored?
Extra cover is probably done there.
So it's the rest of the guys then, when he's marked out of it, that have to step up. And I think, like, for probably the third match in a row inside in town, I go back to last year, Crotta game, Ballyduff game, against the Breeze, and then the second half against Lixnaw. Shane Conway 1-on-1 inside with no protection whatsoever in front of the man that's marking him.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. It's like the 1-2 scored in what had in literally the first 3 or 4 minutes.
He had.
But you need to be quick, and
they don't play sweepers, so we don't play sweepers.
Inside there. I need to drop someone back.
Somebody's got to drop. Somebody has.
But I think in fairness to Abbeydorney, I think the coach was the manager was otherwise engaged. Just couldn't make it on Saturday. And
look, they could have been under orders to go no matter what, man for man, and see what happens. Because look, at the end of the day, you're not going to get knocked out or anything like that.
Yes.
And like that with the lead they had, then okay, fair enough. You can test out fellas man on man, test out guys man on man against Shane Conway. I think there was 2 or 3 different. There was definitely 2 different people marking him throughout the second half. But I think they definitely failed that test in the first 15 minutes.
Well, I would still say Abbeydorney are contenders, and I would still say Lixnaw are contenders, lad. Everybody agree with that? Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, if you get Conor O'Keefe back, and you get maybe Jeremy McKenna back as well into the mix for Lixnaw, because like in the second half, Lixnaw put up 114. Now, okay, you can say it's against a slightly detached Abbeydorney who have done their job and they feel that it's all over and done with at half time, but that was still a massive response from Lixnaw. Like they could have been heading home last Saturday night in the depths of despair after getting an unmerciful hammering, believing that we actually have no place going into this quarterfinals. But now you could even hear it from the Lixnaw fans. As soon as Shane Conway came on, everything was different. They had belief again, and obviously the players on the pitch had renewed faith and renewed belief as well once their talisman was on the field. Like they were excellent in the second half. The game was over, okay, but they will have gone home on Saturday night not dejected by the overall defeat, but re-energised by the prospect of what they might do with a Shane Conway-inspired team.
Right, so that's the wrap-up of last weekend's hurling championship. We have preliminary round coming up, and we'll also explain to the best of our ability the rules and regulations from here on in once the draw is going to be made on Friday night, I believe. Now this weekend, Friday night actually, we have 2 preliminary quarterfinals. I think this is probably the first year of preliminary quarterfinals because of the 10 teams in the championship, and that necessitated a group of 4 and 2 threes. So this weekend we have a preliminary quarterfinal where Causeway will play Dr. Crokes here in Austin Stack Park, and out the road at Abbeydorney it's St. Brendan's versus Tralee Parnells. So John, very quickly, Causeway and Dr. Crokes. Obviously Crokes have had a good game against Kilmoyley, but Causeway are a different animal altogether.
Yeah, Dr. Crokes, 16 points in the first game, 140 in the last day. Conor O'Hare to come back into the team. They'll be confident of putting in maybe an even better performance than they did against Kilmoyley. But Causeway, as James says, they're cock-a-hoop at the moment. They fired in 317 last week. There's a chance Gavin Dooley might even be back in the mix for this weekend, although they'd probably hold off on using him maybe. Not taking anything for granted, but they mightn't risk him before the quarterfinals. Causeway will win this game, even though Dr. Crokes will probably put in another good performance, but definitely Causeway to advance.
James, as the only Kilmoyley supporter of Causeway in the parish, what do you think from what you're saying, despite your respect for Crokes and their efforts? I think you would be a Causeway, Causeway vote.
Yes, they're on a roll now and they can feel it.
Yeah.
Momentum is with them. Like Crokes will be better with Conor O'Hare. Hopefully they use him in the right way. They don't disrupt the team. They're nice balance against Kilmoyley. They're a nice balance. Mm-hmm. Like don't disrupt it too much, but adding these quality, sprinkling quality there. But I think Causeway will have too much. They will have too much for them.
Yeah, Aidan, would you say Causeway will have too much for Crokes?
Yeah, it'll be it'll be a good test for Causeway, and I'd say like that, Goggin will be delighted to get another test. Like he doesn't want to walk over really. I think it will be probably close enough. I'd say like that last 10 minutes maybe Causeway. Although their second half wasn't fantastic in Abbeydorney at the same time. They just kind of kept the lead on.
Don't go for a draw, please.
No, we no draw this week. No, I think Causeway, they will get over the line, all right. But it'll be interesting, and I'd say Crokes will have them under pressure in periods.
Right. So then out in Abbeydorney, Aidan, we'll stick with you as you'll be using the stick, your hurl out there soon. St. Brendan's and Tralee Parnells. Again, Brendan's, despite the absence of Finan Egan, you'd have to fancy they've got to win a game, and this would look to be an ideal opportunity against the Parnell side, who in their opening game showed that, you know, they are committed and they're entitled to be at the top table.
Like that, I haven't heard about any of the kind of updates on the couple of injuries they picked up against Abbeydorney, so I'm not sure. Like they'd want everyone anyway. If they're missing anyone, like it's going to be a loss from. Yeah, you'd expect. I think the experience in the backs is what's going to drive St. Brendan's on. And probably their long range shooting, I imagine it's going to be similar conditions to last week, where there'll be that breeze blowing into the kind of the complex end, you know, and the likes of Darren Deneen, etc., John Egan, I think they'll be able to pick off scores from distance, whereas Parnells probably won't be able to do that. So it's I don't see a goal fest or anything like that. It'll be long range point scoring at St. Brendan's. I think they'll get them over.
Yeah. Now, having said that, James, there'll probably be 5 goals in the first half of it, and that happens to all of us. We make predictions.
Hopefully,
yeah. St. Brendan's and Parnells. Who do you go for?
You'd have to say St. Brendan's. As poor as they were last Friday night, that has been the lowest they've been in the 3 games they played. They were much better, because we praised them in their games before that, saying like there's something about them, they're moving, but last Friday night was terrible.
Yeah,
it was terrible, and they have to look at themselves and say, geez, that was awful. But you're looking for a rebound, but it will be low scoring though. Yeah, Finan is a big loss. They do have other forwards. Lee Moog will have to step up.
He'd probably have to take frees, will he?
He would. I'd see Shamie Holland coming in.
He was 3 out of 3 when he took over the frees.
Good striker, good striker. He wasn't getting on maybe enough ball early on, because Gary Kerry played him so well. And
he's very young, though. Sure, just out of
He has
minor.
to grow into that role. Maybe without Finan this weekend, maybe there might be more focus put on him, and he might respond in that kind of vein and say,
Yeah,
geez, I'm the man now.
Yeah,
I'll take the freeze. I'll
stand up. Yeah,
I'll stand up. And look, you know, you'd still see St. Brendan's will have enough. But I think a low scoring affair, 4 or 5 points either way. With St. Brendan's win.
John O'Dowd, St. Brendan seems to be the pick of the panel, and it's hard to go against it.
I'd agree with Aidan there. Just the little doubts over Garrod O'Doherty and Oisin O'Brien. We saw them work that night against Abbeydorney. When they both came off, they were in a certain spot of bother, the two of them. I know they've had that extra week, so they've had 2 weeks to try and recover. They'll need them 100%. Like, they got 10 of the points out of the 14 against Lixnaw on the opening night between the two of them. They're massive for Tralee Parnells. Parnells didn't do themselves justice at all against Abbeydorney. Maybe it was the second game in a week that went against them. Now they've had an extra week to recover, so I'd be expecting a much better Parnells performance. But as James said, like, this is probably the best thing to happen to St. Brendan's, that Finan Egan is missing this weekend. Because in fairness, for a young lad, they were way too over-dependent on him in the first 2 games. It was frankly ridiculous. Yeah. There are other players that have been around for a while, and they need to step up consistently on a long-term basis and fill the gap now left by Finan Egan. The gap
gifted
left by
hurler though, Finan.
Yeah,
I mean, he's gifted.
The gap left by Finan Mackesy as well. There are lads there that are good enough, but they haven't been doing it consistently. 1 good game, 1 bad game, 1 good game, 1 bad game. Now they have to turn up, and I still think St. Brendan's will do enough to win.
Right, so that's the weekend games. You can see them live on Clubber on Friday night. Now, people are wondering about the quarter-final draw, which probably will be made after the game here in the both games finish in both in Austin Stack Park, and also in Abbeydorney. And cutting to the chase, now we know how teams get to the groups. So the winners of the preliminary quarterfinals and the top 2 from each group will play the quarterfinals. Extra time and winner on the day. So that's the first thing. We understand that. Now, the 2 preliminary quarterfinal winners and the 2 second place teams are drawn against group winners and 1 second place team. Avoid repeat pairings where possible. Now, what that scenario says is you have already 3 teams. Ballyduff are 1, Abbeydorney are another, and Ballyduff is they're the 3 group winners, and 1 of the second place teams will move up to become a seeded team, and then the 2 preliminary winners and the 2 other second base teams will play them, except where they're repeat pairings. And because there was a group of 4 and so many, it was the strongest team, there's very small room for manoeuvre there. Just to bring it on another level, the semi-finals, again, extra time in the semi-finals. Now, the weekend after next, that's the weekend that Kerry are playing Armagh. That's the weekend of the quarter-finals. The semi-finals are the week after that. There's the break, and then the first Sunday of August, or whatever date it is the final. Now, the semi-finals, extra time, and a lot of people would know this. Avoid repeat pairings where possible. Maybe that may not be possible now. James, your initial reaction to that, where you have a second place team coming up, and it could be Kilmoyley could go as a seeded team.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
wonders will never cease.
And then see, I find it hard. Unless Crotta are the seeded team, it makes it a lot easier for the draw to be done, does it not?
Yes,
it should, because then at least you have an open, more variations. Like, as it is, like as you said, we can only play Kilmoyley, or Ballyduff can only play Kilmoyley or Lixnaw. Virtually winding down to that. Like, where's the fairness in that?
You see Kilmoyley and they can only play Crotta or Lixnaw.
Crotta or Ballyduff.
So basically, from what I make out anyway,
it's a very limited.
Abbeydorney have to play one of Causeway or Fort.
That's it, yeah.
Because if they play anyone else, there has to be a repeat pairing.
There's repeat pairings all over the place.
Elsewhere,
So it's kind of a very limited draw to make. Like that. It is. That draw for the seeded second team is, I think that could cost a lot of hit extra.
And the semi-final you'll talk about.
They're going to have to do some mess around with
as you say about avoiding repeat pairings in the semi-finals there, it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that you could have Ballyduff, Crotta and Causeway in the semi-finals.
Maybe St. Brendan's.
Maybe St. Brendan's, yeah.
The
four
from one group.
I presume where repeat pairings can't be avoided, it's an open draw, is it?
Yes.
For the semi-final.
Oh, yeah.
Has to be no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where possible.
Yeah.
So if it's not possible, it's impossible. So you do.
Come on, Zach.
Yeah.
I think the quarter-final draw is enough headache anyway.
Yeah,
That is going to
it
be...
is right now.
I think
we
if
will
Crotta come out the seeded second place team, that makes the draw a lot easier to navigate.
So that's where we'll be going. Will you have a bet on that?
But I think, Mort, even at this early stage, you're pretty much guaranteed 4 absolutely tasty quarterfinals.
Absolutely.
No matter what way you look at it, no matter what way the permutations, no matter what way the draw turns out, there's going to be 8 really competitive teams against each other.
Yeah, well, it's very important to stress as well that neither Causeway or Brennan's are across the line yet.
Oh,
and
no,
Crokes or
of course,
Parnells
of course.
could be in there. So
they'd make things a
put
lot
that
easier.
in,
Both of them
and
now.
they would make things a lot easier for us if they did.
But also
So
a benefit of the 4-group team that to get to a semi-final, they don't have to get through Crotta or Ballyduff anymore.
No.
But, you know, 2 favourites of the championship, and they're not in their way, so it's anyone of the rest of the team. So that's a benefit then of being in the 4.
So you reckon it's unfair to Abbeydorney?
No, I'm not. I'm saying it's just
I
it's
agree.
an
It's
interesting
unfair to
team
Kilmoyley and Abbeydorney.
like that.
It is,
Hopefully this is
Right.
And a funny thing,
we'll
Mort,
never have to deal with
just
this
before
free
we
group
just
nonsense
before
anymore.
we finish, as we touched on last week, if, as the favourites tag says, Causeway and St. Brendan's do get through this Friday night, they will have 4 games under the belt before the quarterfinals, which is more than
We've had
any
2 poor
other
ones.
team,
We've had 2 poor ones.
which could be a big difference.
I mean, no offence to Crokes or Parnells there either by
No,
assuming
none
it's
at all.
Causeway and effort, like, but
Yeah,
we
it
can't
looks
do
very. Yeah, it looks very like him. Yeah. So listen, we'll chat next week about the quarter-final draw and the various permutations, and we'll have a look back, of course, at Friday night's preliminary quarter-finals. There might be a shock to report on, and we'll find out, has James McCarthy's love affair with Causeway waned after he going home and being told a few home truths, or will he still have that love for his neighbours? And I can guarantee you, when James McCarthy played Causeway, there was no love at all with Causeway. There's many a Causeway man who ended up in A&E. No, I apologise, I don't mean that. So that's our show for this week. I'd like to thank our panel members. John O'Dowd, thank you. James, the Maverick, McCarthy, thanks very much. Again, your contribution. And Aidan, as the nerves finally kick in as he goes to play his intermediate championship game with a team that has won a game since 2017. Hopefully we wish him luck tonight. And we'll report next week and do a small bit of a review on his performance and his game. Signing off, this is Mort Murphy on behalf of Clubber TV.